Hi everybody, real world boating again. Just putting another video out finally. It's been a while since I put one out, but I've been working on pulling my pedestal, my steering pedestal, and doing a Teak deck. I'm going to put a new pedestal in. This is one right behind me here. It's a Jefa RP300 pedestal that I got. It's a new old stock, so it's never been installed before. But I got a really good price because it was there was a little bit of damage on it, and so I repaired that damage and getting ready to install it right here. I'll get some close-up shots for that. You can't stand it up because it has it's a rack and pinion. The RP for the RP300 stands for rack and pinion. And so instead of a cable system, I did have an old cable system installed here, but it wasn't rated for over 50-foot boat, which the Spencer 53 is. So I wanted to get a pedestal that was rated for a boat for this size. I do like the rack and pinion system as opposed to the cable system. It's much more clean and less prone to failures. And then also, just the cable systems are not typically rated for over 50-foot vessels. I was told by, actually not told, but I asked the guy, because there's remnants of a hydraulic system from a couple previous owners of this boat before, and I can still see the hydraulic ram down there. Looks like maybe they had a hydraulic autopilot. So there's still the motor, the electric motor down there to run the hydraulic pump and the hydraulic ram down there, and it still has the controller arm attached to the shaft, which is down below me here, the steering shaft. I have an emergency tiller, so it does stick up about 6-8 inches above the deck here, and I'm putting down some teak flooring. And I'm going to get some close-up pictures of that as well. So I'm in the middle of this project. I got stuff, as usual, when you're working on your boat. I don't know if you've ever worked on your own boat before, but you end up having tools and stuff strewn all over the place, just because you have to make room for everything, and it's small, confined spaces. So organizing things is difficult, and I struggle with clutter myself anyways. So anyways, I'll get some close-up of the pedestal. I have the old, actually it looks like an Edson pedestal, but it's not an Edson, it's a Yacht Specialties pedestal that it was installed here before. Yacht Specialties, very similar to Edson stuff. Some of the Edson stuff will actually, you can buy it because Yacht Specialties went out of business a long time ago actually. And some of the Edson stuff will adapt to the Yacht Specialties pedestal. Still very similar to Edson. But this is the Jefa pedestal. Just for reference, Jefa used to make Whitlock pedestals, but the Whitlock was purchased, the company Whitlock was purchased by Lumar, and so Jefa started making their own. They're exactly the same. As a matter of fact, the sailboat that I featured in a previous video, Dunvegan, the 50-foot Far, he has a Whitlock pedestal, and I noticed after I purchased, frankly, the Jefa, that it looked exactly the same, and it turns out that it is exactly the same pedestal, just a coincidence. And of course, I was looking for a pedestal that was rated for this vessel, and this is a 50-foot Far, and this is a Spencer 53, and about the same displacement between the two vessels anyways. So anyways, I'll get some close-up pictures of that, and I'll show some other stuff later on in the video. Here's the emergency tiller steering post, and this teak decking is not fastened down at all. I'm just laying it out. As a matter of fact, you can see my if you look real close, you can see my arc line that I have to trim the boards. That's going to be my edging out there, but I do have to trim that arc line I'm just getting the Teak installed because I want to put the Teak decking in below the pedestal. So I just need this area. Of course, my throttle and steering cables that are coming up through the access hole. And that's an archive from the Yacht Specialties pedestal. So the Yacht Specialty pedestal right here on the end of the thing, you can see the YS, Yacht Specialties, on the nut for the wheel right there. Turn it up right. There you go. And of course, it is a chain system, so you can see the gear and the chain for the Yacht Specialties. There's the cables coming out the bottom. So the chain down there, I don't want to touch it, it's all greasy, and I got the camera. So the chain down there connects to the cable. And this is actually, I have this pulled apart as well. This is actually the throttle and the transmission separate knobs. One of the things I like about the Jefa, and here it is right here, the Jefa system, the RP300, is that it does have a single lever. I do like that. So you have both the throttle and the transmission. The lever will go off of this arm right here on the Jefa. And it does have the stop, the steering wheel lock by tightening up this outer knob. Of course, there is the nut itself on that. So and it's a 1-inch tapered shaft on that. But this is actually this outer knob is actually the steering wheel lock. So you can lock that steering wheel into place. And you can see the actual rack and pinion. Let me go ahead and give it a twist there, so you can see that up there where it turns the rack and pinion. So it does turn this tube, and then when you turn the tube, get rid of some stuff here so you can see. When you do turn the tube, it'll rotate this controller arm, which will have a drag link, especially a tie rod. So it'll rotate this controller arm here, and it'll be connected to a drag link, which is essentially a tie rod, and then it'll connect to that also, or to the actual the rudder post itself down underneath the deck. With that, so a pretty good system. I really like the Jefas. Really well done, low maintenance, strong, a pretty clean look too, because on the deck itself, if you can see this flange, you don't have any visible bolts, so everything's through bolted through the deck. I get around here and you can see these bolt holes here are actually to hold it down to the deck. So a nice clean look on top of the deck itself, and very attractive. And you know, that's the whole point of working on your sailboat yourself. You get to do all the fancy stuff, but it just takes forever, of course. So there you go, there's that. I'll be working on that. I'll share some more videos. Another project is I got on top here, I've got 400-watt solar panels. So after the mizzen mast, I will put a rack, and I'll put these 400-watt solar panels up on that rack for now, and tie it to a battery that will run the cockpit electronics, my my GPS and chart plotters and the autopilot and all the cockpit electronics that I'll normally have, I'll run off the solar panels specifically, and so that I'm not using up house batteries or starting batteries for cockpit electronics. One of the things that I've noticed is with cruisers is the most common battery failures is people running at night with all their cockpit electronics, especially their radars. Radars use a lot of electricity, and a lot of times they'll run at night and they'll just forget about their usage, and they'll run out of power. So having that separate, especially with a lithium battery, if you do run them down to low or basically all the way down, you're not really damaging the lithium batteries. They'll recharge back up. You just need some solar panels and some time and some sun. So, oops, my lens cap's flying around there in the wind. That's what's going on lately. I just wanted to have something out there to say, yes, I am still here, I am still alive, and I'm still working on my boat. It's a continuing process, of course, trying to get this ready, and it's, you know, I'm years out before I can actually go cruising seriously. So lots of videos to make, a lot of work to do on the boat to get it ready. So we'll see you next time. All right, thanks, bye.